Welcome back again. As you now have channel already in your system or in your network, so now let us go and start a chain code on the channel. So to refresh your memory, after you have created a channel, you can start using the smart contract to interact with the channel ledger. Smart contracts contain business logic that governs assets on the blockchain ledger. Applications run by members of the network can invoke smart contract to create assets on the ledger, and as well as you can also change and transfer those assets. Applications also query smart contracts to read data on ledger. To ensure that transactions are valid, transactions are created using smart contracts typically needs to be signed by multiple organizations to be committed to the channel ledger. So, multiple signatures are integral part for the trust model of Fabric network. Requiring multiple endorsement for a transaction prevents one organization on the channel tampering the ledger without noticing to the other organization. So, to sign a transaction, each organization needs to invoke and execute the smart contract on their peer, which then signs the output of the transaction. If the output is consistent and has been signed by enough organization, the transaction can be committed to the ledger. The policy that specifies the set of organization on the channel that needs to execute the smart contract is referred to as endorsement policy, which is the set which is set for each chain code as part of the chain code definition. So in Fabric, smart contracts are deployed on the network in packages referred to as chain code. A chain code is installed on POs of organization and then deployed on to a channel where it can be used to endorse transactions and interact with blockchain ledger. Before a chain code can be deployed to a channel, the member of the channel needs to agree to to a chain code definition that establishes chain code governance. When required number of organization agrees, the chain code definition can be committed to the channel and the channel is ready to be used. So after this, after you have created the network channel, which we have seen in the previous lecture, so you can start chain code on the channel using the following command, which is network.sh and deploy cc, which is deploy chain code. Let's see, and let's see whether we can deploy the chain code properly or not. This will gonna take some time because it has to deploy the chain code on every peer, which is peer 0 of organization 1 and peer 0 of organization 2. So it might take time based on your network capacity, network speed. So please be patient. So the smart contract that we have written here is of the FabCar chain code. So the FabCar in this smart contract is a simple smart contract where you are gonna keep asset as a car, and that car ownership changes we will be capturing in the blockchain. So the main intention of this course is not to elaborate the smart chain sorry smart contract writing. So if you want to take up that course, we do have another course as well in coding boot camps. Please do subscribe for that course as well to understand the detailed explanation of how smart contracts are written. But at this point of time, we are executing a smart contract which is already there in the sample network that we are executing, and that smart contract is nothing is will keep a track of the ownership of a car. So as we can see now we have got the output, and in this we can see there are many processes that is happening before you approve or before you deploy the chain code to the network. So as you can see, you have chain code installed on peer0.org1, then you have Chaincode installed on peer0.org2, then it has to be approved by peer0.org1, then it has to be approved by peer0.org2 as well, which you can see here. Then after that, once it got sufficient approval, then the Chaincode definition is committed to the channel, which is my channel that we have created in the previous session. So after that, we are trying to query what is there in the as an asset on the network. So as you can see, we have already created couple of records, which is the name of the car, and these are already available on the network. So now we have the chain code deployed on the network. So in the next video, we can go ahead and interact with this network, and we can try to invoke the smart contracts, which is gonna change the ownership of a car from one user to another user, and we can see how that is taking place, and what are the sections that it is what are the smart contracts that it is going to run, and we can also query the smart contract to see whether that change has taken place or not. So that is it for this lecture. So this is important. This is an important section where you have to deploy the chain code, and it involves several processes that has to go through. So if you have any doubts or question, please feel free to write back to us, and I'll see you in the next section where we will try and interact with the network and the smart contract. See you in the next section.